Hi, I'm Jo and welcome to my channel. I'm so sorry that I haven't posted in a little while. I have been away and I've been learning all about filming and recording, and so I still have a long way to go, but I'm hoping that this will be reflected in future videos. So going forward in the next sort of weeks and months, I would like to continue focusing on, color pencils and watercolors, but broaden it a little bit, and I would really like to concentrate on quality and what's worth spending more money on and what isn't, what's not even worth the packaging that it comes in, to try and sort of help you work out what's worth spending your hard-earned cash on, and looking at, as well as the colored pencils, we'll look at some graphite pencils, the watercolor pencils, maybe some craft materials, or oils and acrylics, who knows. The world is our oyster. But we're going to start with some Caran d'Ache museum quality pencils. So these ones, I was lucky enough to get these for a gift. So that's where we're going. So we're going to unpackage it and see what they're like. Okay.
So here we go. So here's the box. As you can see, it's a cardboard box, which is just lovely. So no plastic, even inside, no plastic. So the box tells us it's the landscape assortment, obviously Caran d'Ache, and we've got 20 museum aquarelle or watercolor pencils. So if we take the lid off, what really impresses me is the packaging. Obviously, Caran d'Ache is a very large company, a very old company, so they're sending their art materials all over the world. And the fact that this is a hard foam insert in here, so keeping these pencils very safe, and it gives me a lot of confidence knowing that they're not going to break in transit. So I was very impressed by that. It's a lovely range of colours. I think all up there's about 76 in this range, 76 different shades, made of cedarwood. So I think that's enough for just looking at the pencils, don't you? So now I'm going to put the lid back on and go and get my watercolour paper, and we'll get started.
Right, we'll just have a little bit of a play before we go and do our main drawing. So I'm using a Canson cold press paper. Okay, so we're going to have a go with some blending and some overlaying just to see what it looks like. So the first one we're going to have a go with is just the black. So let's see what the coverage is like. So you can see it's almost 100%. Obviously this is just using it as a coloured pencil. We're going to put some water on it in a little while. So really good coverage, lightening off to almost nothing. Now we're going to overlay two colours. So we've got a scarlet. I'm sorry if there's a little bit of camera wobble. Sometimes there is when you're pressing down quite hard, the table wobbles sometimes. Okay, so there's our scarlet, and then we've got an olive over the top. So it'll be interesting to see what this looks like when we wet it. Will these colours mix well? And then the last one we're going to do, which is a burnt ochre, is we're going to see it using a paper stump. We're going to see if it blends very well. Now obviously this is a toothed paper, so it's not going to blend that well. Usually coloured pencil works really well on either a hot press paper if you're using it as a watercolour, or a Bristol paper if you're using it just as coloured pencils. So you can see it does blend, but it does leave a bit of an uneven surface. But that's okay. Right, let's have a quick go with the brush. Let's just see what it looks like as a watercolour. We'll go with the two colours first. Okay, so that red is coming through very predominantly there. But the green has just taken the sting, the brightness of the red out. Now with the black, obviously if you're using it as a watercolour, you'll go from light to dark, because if you go from dark to light, then all you're doing is dragging the colour down. So we'll start at the light end and we'll work up. But there's a good colour intensity there. So yep, I'm happy with that. And we'll just do the same with the ochre. See, once you put water on it, all the appearance of the slight lumpiness of the tooth disappears, and they just turn into watercolours. Beautiful, intense watercolours. Okay, well that'll do for now. We're now going to move on to doing the drawing. Okay, see you soon. So using the same paper, the Canson paper, I'm now laying in some Prussian blue just to get the sort of the cloud effects, and you'll see that it's very scribbly. I don't really have to sort of think about process or, you know, really fancy line work. Laying in some real cobalt now, just to add a little variety. And you'll see, you saw in the demonstration how different the colours are once you put water on, so you shall see in a minute how vibrant these colours come out. So just adding a little bit more russet and cobalt. And then we're going in, laying in some water. And this is absolutely stunning, and it's quite an easy way to really get some texture and some life into your skies by using watercolour pencils. It would be difficult to do that with traditional tubes. So now we're just starting with the trees. We're putting in some orange and a little bit of lemon yellow, and just trying to lay in some texture around the foliage of the tree and some shadow work. And that's some umber coming in right at the bottom. So as the layers go on, and you can see, look, as you put the water on, just how beautiful it is. And you'll see once we start putting the tree trunks in, how it suddenly becomes like a tree. We've got spring green going in on the right hand side. And the thing is with these watercolour pencils is that you can put pencils and then water and then pencils and then water, you know, keep adding layers on. So that's a scarlet, just going in for the roof, and some umber for the foreground. And then in this foreground we've got raw sienna and orange going in to sort of create some, you know, the cornfields. So some shading there, and the orange will really bring it to life. And we add some water, and there we go, finished. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you enjoyed that demonstration using Caran d'Ache pencils, and I hope that you check out the next one. So the next one is on Derwent coloured pencils. So I will see you next week. Have a great week. Bye.